How's it going? All
Good,
right.
thanks. How are you?
Yeah, how you doing? I'm doing all right. Just getting sorted out here.
All right, well, I guess it gets started. How's retirement treating you?
Yeah, it's good. It's busy. Obviously, right now is quite a crazy time, but been doing a lot with the kids hockey, which I really enjoy. That's kind of, I guess the biggest reason why I retired is just getting away and being able to be around, they're growing up. And so I've enjoyed that, and I've enjoyed learning the sort of the other side of the game with the Penguins here, kind of going back and forth to Pittsburgh, kind of learning that side of it. So yeah, it's been good.
And not really retirement by any means.
Not fully, but yeah, but no, it's a lot easier on the body. I'll tell you that. It was, at my age, it was a lot of work to get ready for a season. So it's nice to be able to let the body sort of heal up and move on with it.
What do you think has been the most rewarding part for you of being on this side of things with the Penguins?
Well, it's like another way to learn the game. I think like when you're done playing, to be able to use your experience that you've kind of piled up over the years towards something that can help other guys, and obviously having a relationship with the players on the team there, it helps, and with the coaching staff and the management too. So it's just kind of really, it's interesting. I've put my whole life into the game of hockey, so to be able to stay in it at that level and kind of try to learn from them, but also share with some of the players, it's been actually really good. I've enjoyed it.
How often have you got to Pittsburgh, and just with this disruption of the season, how has that kind of changed the way everything kind of went with that?
Yeah, it's been good. Like at the beginning of the year, I was more doing things from home. And then as the season went along, I ended up going out to Pittsburgh for probably 8 to 10 days out of every month. So I ended up kind of working with the coaching staff and being on the ice with the players a lot, which was good. It was a comfortable spot for me to be in, obviously, with the relationship I have with the coaches and the players, only being a year removed. But yeah, so it's going to evolve as we go, obviously, with the wrinkles of all this stuff going on now, and with the Hub City stuff, it's kind of evolving, and I'm going to be doing a little bit from home during this time period, and then next season we'll kind of see where it goes. But it's been fascinating for me to see. You play the game for a long time, you don't realize how little you know about what happens on the other side of it.
Anything, like you said, anything that's been really eye-opening on the other side of it, or what are kind of the things that have kind of surprised you in the role you've been in that you maybe didn't realize as a player?
Yeah, probably the biggest thing is you don't realize how much work the coaches put in there at the rink. Like, as a player, you get to the rink a couple hours before practice, you do your workout, you practice, you get out of there. The coaches are there way before you get there, and they're way longer after you leave. So it's pretty interesting the amount of time and effort goes into everything from that standpoint. And then the management side of things, it's fascinating how many phone calls are made and how much, there's salary cap stuff to deal with. There's all kinds of things to deal with that as a player you just don't even think about. So for me, I found it just fascinating, and it's always fun to be in a spot where you're learning all the time. And so I've actually really enjoyed that part of it.
I mean, how did that opportunity come about? Is it something that you sought out, or is it something Pittsburgh came to you with? I mean, initially, how did the whole thing come about?
Yeah, actually, as I was getting near after my final year there, so Jim Rutherford, the general manager, and I have a pretty good relationship going back to our 2006 Cup win in Carolina. And so he was my general manager in Carolina, and then again in Pittsburgh when we won the 2 Cups. So he and I have a good relationship, and I think a mutual respect for each other. So he approached me after my last season, and just with the idea of continuing on. And obviously, when you play for a long time, you have a certain amount of experience. And so I just wanted me to find a way to share the experience, but also sort of feel it out and see if the management or coaching side would be a good fit. So yeah, that was essentially how it happened. And to me, it was a cool opportunity to stay involved in the game and to learn from Jim, who's a Hall of Fame general manager, and stay with the Pittsburgh organization, which is as good as there is in sports, I think.
Have you gotten any sort of feeling whether coaching / management in pro hockey is something you'd want to do long term, or is it too early to tell?
It's pretty early to tell. I mean, at this point of life with my kids, the ages they are, I kind of appreciate the ability to sort of feel it out and try it out, but also be able to be home. Like I said, that's kind of why I retired, was to get home and be part of the kids' lives. And they're at ages where it's really fun to be a part of it. So I think, I'm lucky with the Penguins are allowing me to sort of feel it out and kind of try to find the right path. And then, while still being home and being a part of the family life. So, not many guys get that opportunity. So I'm pretty appreciative of that. But I don't know necessarily the exact path that I'll go with. Obviously, I got to see what I'm good at. And, over these next few years, we'll learn, I guess.
Obviously, they're not. But is there any itch to get back on the ice, or are you kind of like pretty at peace with the decision?
Yeah, I mean, this is the time, now during the playoffs is the time that you really miss the game. The training camp you don't miss, the first part of the year you don't really miss, but the playoffs are the time that you really get the itch to come back and play. But that ship has sailed. I'm really happy to be home. It's nice just being able to be here and be at the games with the kids and help coach them. And then, like I said, to also stay in touch with the game at the NHL level is great. So it's a pretty good fit for me. So I'm pretty comfortable with it.
What's it been like to see the season unfold? You get away from the game and now this whole thing gets disrupted. I mean, I don't know if you've been in touch with any former teammates, or what's it been like just seeing the way the whole pandemic's affected NHL and the sports world as a whole?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy, obviously, to see it all. I have been in touch with a lot of guys, and I've been, in touch with the coaching staff and the management. And so in Pittsburgh, we did video meetings throughout the course of the pandemic, I guess, when guys were at home. So it was a really good idea by the management and the coaches to come up with that idea anyways. I mean, I was happy to be a part of it and to get to see how it all worked, but just to kind of keep in touch with the guys. I think a lot of people went home and just kind of felt sort of on their own, and it was a good opportunity to get the team together on like a Zoom call basically. And, you'd share ideas and you'd watch some video of things that happened during the season and kind of refine some system work within the team, which was really, I thought, a forward thinking idea. So I was lucky to be a part of that. So that kind of kept me in touch with all the guys and with the team. And it was an interesting way to just sort of kind of stay in touch, I thought. But I mean, it's just been really interesting to watch it all happen. And I think the NHL has done a good job of responsibly getting back at it. I think they're on track to do things the right way. And I think they've kind of led the charge as far as the sporting leagues. So I think it's good, and I'm glad they're getting back out. I'm glad they're going to attempt to have playoffs.
Do you have an official title per se? They call it coach, consultant, and what do they kind of label you?
Yeah, well, my first label, I'm on my second one now, so I'm moving along. But my first label was player development, which, excuse me, would sort of entail me traveling a lot and working with young guys, which I enjoy doing. But this newest one, I ended up sort of working more with the coaching staff when I was out there, which was great. And so now I'm moving into more of like an advisory role. It would be considered an advisor to the coaching staff and to hockey ops is my new title. So yeah, so it's good. It kind of allows me again to sort of view things from the big picture from the outside, stay in touch with the players and coaches, and provide input where I can, and then I'll still go out to Pittsburgh from time to time.
How do you feel like you've been able to help them? Where have they kind of picked your brain? What do you feel like you've been able to bring and your perspective to the coaches' side now?
I think the biggest thing is just the proximity to my time playing, right? So it's only been a year. I was just a player here recently. So I think having that perspective and, also having a relationship with the players and an equal relationship with the coaching staff to be able to sort of be in that middle ground and provide maybe the perspective of a player. I think that's probably where I can provide the most value at the moment. And then as I learn more and grow in this role, I can hopefully provide more as I go. But I think, at this point, that's been the biggest thing, is to be able to provide that viewpoint from a player that's recently been a part of it. And just, obviously having the relationship with both players and coaching staff, it seems to be pretty good.
What kind of stuff do you point out? Like schedule management, changing somebody's position? Like what kind of stuff does a player provide in that situation?
I think more like input on the on-ice happenings, just things that happen within a game and being able to provide a player's viewpoint on it. And also just to understand I've played with a lot of those guys, so to understand how the guys, view the game and different things they might be thinking, to be able to provide that input and perspective, but also just to maybe be able to provide that to a player and say, whatever, like this is an idea for next time this happens, or here's an idea as a center that you might try on faceoff. So it's I guess providing that to some of the younger players, but then also, working with some of the centermen on faceoffs, and it's mostly providing hockey input. I mean, there's a lot of really good people in the organization that are good at all the other things, but to be able to provide the insight on the game, I guess that's probably, being so recently removed, that's probably where I can provide the most value right now.
You've talked about how this is a pretty unique situation that you're in, that they're working this with you, based on your relationship, obviously, with the GM. But is this something that you think is really special to the Penguins, or are there guys in the NHL doing this kind of stuff right now, and this is kind of a push that you're seeing across the league?
It's a pretty unique situation, but it also happens around the league that, guys that have a lot of experience will often stay in the game and provide that, the experience that they've gained throughout the years of playing for different coaches, playing in different systems. And so, yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen often, and obviously they've gone out of their way to make it work for me, which is awesome. I've really enjoyed it. So, yeah, I understand it's a pretty unique situation, and like I said, I really appreciate it and I really enjoy it. And I love the game, so it's a great fit. So I just trying to make the most of it and then provide as much as I can for them. But it's a fun organization to be a part of. Obviously, when you got guys like Crosby and Malkin, and it's a super high-end organization from the top to the bottom. So it's really a fun deal to be a part of, and it's helped me transition from playing to whatever the future holds. So it's been a great fit.
When was the last time you went out there in person, and how many times you think you got out there in person before everything kind of shut down?
Yeah, so I was actually scheduled to go out maybe 2 days after everything shut down. So I was probably out there once a month. I was out for the whole training camp. I was out in the summer to sort of learn during free agency time. So essentially right after I retired, I went out to sort of be around for the free agent, July 1st sort of time period. And then I was out for all the training camp. And then I was out probably, like I said, once a month for a week or so. And then when they'd come to like Minnesota or Winnipeg, I'd shoot over and meet them. So I was out there quite a bit.
Working youth hockey clinic, how much are you doing that type of stuff, youth hockey clinics, and how can you kind of balance that with everything else you got going on?
Yeah, you know what? It's like, this is what I like. I love being on the ice with the kids. So this works out to come down usually once a summer to hop on the ice down here in Sioux Falls. And, I'm on the ice a lot at home. Obviously, all winter, I'm coaching my kids and helping out on the ice. So I get on the ice with the kids in Moorhead a ton. And then in the summer, I'm on the ice at home. There's always something going on. So I'm either coaching or on the ice, which like I said, it's fun to see the kids. My kids are really into the game. And so it's fun to be around it with them and be able to share it with them. I missed out on a lot of that playing over the years. So it's fun to be able to be there.
How much is it being involved help with retiring? So even though you're not playing, you still are around the game that much. How much do you think that's helped in the retirement part of it?
Yeah, it helps a ton, honestly. I mean, I think, like if it's not an easy transition, and I've heard that from just about every guy I played with. They talk about how you got to find something to do. Well, that hasn't been a problem for me. It's been busy with the kids, and I love diving into it. And so far, they're not too sick of me being around it, which is a positive. But yeah, I mean, I really love the game. So I built a rink in the backyard this year, and we were out on the backyard rink a lot. And just stuff that I had when I grew up in Minnesota, being able to do that with the kids has been awesome, fun for me, but also it's really helped kind of transitioning out of the game and out of the routine of playing. I mean, at the beginning, I found myself, trying to fit in a workout every day. And then it was like, well, you don't have to work out anymore, So it's like big adjustments on things that you're used to doing every day when you're playing. And that's helped a lot, being able to jump into that hockey stuff with the kids and, with the Penguins.
What kind of effect have you seen from your kids of you being able to be around the positive, just of being able to be there more to play that, backyard hockey?
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, every kid, needs a dad around. And I think just being able to be there for them, you know, like they're getting to be almost teenagers, and so these are some pretty critical years in their growth and development as people first, but also as hockey players. But just being able to be there every day and not traveling or leaving, and you know, just all those things that I guess you just don't get to be a part of when you're playing because you're fully invested in the game. It's been good. I mean, I like it's great. I've spent so much more time with the kids, and just having downtime that I wouldn't normally have with them has been awesome.
That's good for me.
All right.
All right, guys.
Yep.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you, man.
Good seeing you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
All
have a
right.
good one.
All right, you too. See you guys.
He'll look at him fit.
Okay.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
Oh, appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
I'm going to try and we don't have our own photo video team here, but I'm going to try and take some photos and send
Okay.
it to you.
All right. Perfect. Thanks, Paul.
Well, you bet. Oh, hey.
Are you gonna do any more virtue?
Virtue? What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about here. Sorry. Yeah.
Like you did?
Oh. Oh. Oh, wow. If
You're done.
I might do some more. It's time to be done. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, I told Paul that yet.
This is new. This is new.
Really good. Feel like.
You didn't think my message was
Well,
more.
there's a difference. There's a difference between black and white. One is a more.
Okay.
And one is.
Okay. Okay.
But I had a feeling.
Wow. 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 I'm well read. I'm well read. White River. Now, White Lake, maybe. White River, no. Yes. 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 White Lake. No. Or West River. No. Few. But I've been East River for 20 years now. So maybe the influence. No. No, I do not own a cowboy hat. Yeah. You know, I never really bought in, to be honest. No. My sister did. Sister's back out there ranching.